Tech for Dummies people? It's your boys, Tech for Dummies RB and Tech for Dummies DH in the house. Say hey.
Hey guys.
Hey, and today we're here to do our new thing called Dummies Rant. So Dummies Rant is a thing where we, Tech for Dummies agents, we rant about all of our favorite phones and all of our least favorite phones, and it can be any other type of technology. So here today I brought Tech for Dummies AH with me to talk about the Apple's pricing. Is that correct?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so begin.
Okay, yeah, so Apple, what's the lot for their product? I don't get it. iPad minis, 7-inch tablet. Nexus 7 is $200. While the iPad mini is $330. What do you have to say about that, Tech for Dummies, RB?
Well, me, I would have to say about that you could really get a cheap Android tablet or a cheap Android phone, because cheap Android phones, they're running right now they can run anywhere from $100 to $300, but the iPhone is a lot because you have to pay for expanded storage. And that's another thing I wanted to cover in today's storage unit in today's Dummies Rant. So, as I was saying, on an Android, you... Huh? So, what I'm saying is, you should be able to get expandable storage, because on the iPhone you do not get expandable storage. You have to pay $100 for every another 16 gigabytes that you get. Every plus 16 gigabytes you get, you have to pay an extra $100. You can get a micro SD card, a 16 gig. You can get it with any good camera phone. You can get a 16 gigabyte card on an Android. And to think that people that make Apple, they do not make an expandable Apple iPhone micro SD card slot. You have to sync everything through iTunes. Like, what's up with that?
And also, I don't get, this is going a little off topic, but on this storage, they made iCloud, right? Put it in this cloud. I don't know why. I think expandable storage is easier.
Yeah, because
that's the fun thing. Anyway, I don't get the iPad.
Yeah, the iPad price right now is outrageous, because the iPad is almost $329.99 for one without a contract, and you can get the Google Nexus for $199.99.
iPad mini.
The iPad mini, I don't see why that doesn't even have expandable storage. iCloud, I can understand why they would do iCloud, but if you're gonna have iCloud, you have to have an iCloud account. And another thing with iTunes, you could also back up all your stuff through iTunes, but iTunes, they require a credit card or a debit card, and they require proof of payment and proof of residency. So then they're more complicated. Google Play, all you gotta do is create a Google account or hook up your Google account, and then that's so easier. Why would you even think about an Apple iPhone or iPod? In the pricing, it's outrageous. They're charging $300 for an iPod Touch. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I have an iPod Touch myself. That was $300. That's the 32 gig 4th gen.
Right.
I thought that was overpriced too. I mean, if you look at the Galaxy players out there from Samsung,
right.
I mean, they're running gingerbread, but I'd rather that instead of a $300 iPod Touch.
Right.
Think about the Galaxy players out there. Let me check to make sure the price is right. I'm in my set. I thought it was $200. It was $100. That's true. You can get an 8 gig iPod Touch. Or, 200. But look at this. Listen to the Samsung Galaxy player. It has expandable storage, up to 32 gig micro SD, and, 4.2-inch screen.
Wow.
Which is, I want to say more, but
true.
This is let me make sure it's on mine. I think this is 16 gigs.
Right. That's true.
That's true. 15 gigs probably. And it's probably 5 inches, and that's the same price. But anyway, I just don't get it. It was $300 just for. I mean, I could get a Samsung Galaxy S3, everything I need, or an iPhone, you know, going through that. But the iPod Touch is $300 and you don't get a phone.
And you don't get the phone feature. Why would it be $300? You can get the iPhone for $200. So why would I pay you $300 for the iPod?
I think the iPod's worth $100. I'm sorry, Apple, but a lot of people buy your product.
Me too. I believe that it's worth $100. Like, because if they sell it for $100 and they add micro SD card slot, don't you think that it would be better for them to have expandable storage?
I suppose, and you know what I also look at? It's basically ripping people off.
Right.
Think about it. They're making, Apple makes new products every year for it's like new generation. Look at the iPad 410. The new iPad 5 is coming out in March, I believe.
Yeah.
Look at the iPad 4 right now. That's about, I would say, $500 right now. $500. That's for a 16 gig.
Right.
I can. I just thought of something. You can get a Nexus 7, which I think.
A Google tablet. They might choose.
Which I think is a good product. I think it's really good.
Yes.
Or, you know what $500 in there? That's a computer. I mean, a laptop.
And they're charging you that for think about that.
There's expandable storage, like mine does, for Windows 8. You can have expandable storage.
Right.
Just two. The iPad doesn't have any, the Microsoft Surface does it, but I think they iPad should have USB slot. That's another thing too. But, I think the iPad is not worth it. Nothing from Apple is worth it.
You know, in the MacBook, they used to charge $2,700 for a MacBook.
No, that's not a MacBook. That's like the iMac. The iMac is like
$2,000 for a computer? That just doesn't make sense. You can get a computer off eBay for about $300 to $400. A mini computer. You could get a desktop for $500. So why would you pay $2,700? Why?
I want to bring up Microsoft here too. For their Windows products. More people buy their stuff because Apple is too expensive for their computer products. And personally, I think Microsoft has better, like for Windows 8, I would say, better, like, introducing iOS products anyway.
Right.
So, and it's also more affordable for people to get.
True.
Like, I want to give an example right here. Now, Microsoft, look at Apple's Mac products. That operating system, I hate it. I just freak out. I mean, I have a MacBook also.
Really?
Yeah. I don't like it. If I did a review between two of them, comparison, I would say Windows is much more better than Apple's products. And that's part of the reason why Apple wants to be, because
Right. You know, and me, I also agree with you, Tech for Dummies AH, because, you know, you gotta think about it. You wanna buy a almost $2,000 computer and get Mac OS X, or you can get Windows for $500. You know, you gotta think about what you wanna do. Me and Tech for Dummies AH, we will both, you know, recommend Windows. We will both recommend that, right? Microsoft Windows.
Yeah. And think about it also. Windows 8. This is just for Windows 8. I have a Windows 7 also. And my laptop's got Windows 8. Like I said before. You think about it? They also have that. That's got iPad and everything. And also, Apple has to be more creative with their products. Look at Microsoft now they changed Windows. They have live tiles. Like I'm on it right now, live tiles. They have, you could get, not that much games, you have to improve your games, but...
Right, and, what computer do you have, Tech for Dummies AH?
I have a Samsung, I have a Samsung Series Ultra has a Intel Core i3 processor, which is also an Ultrabook. Running Windows 8, it's not Windows 8 Pro.
Okay, yeah. So, I agree with you because also there will be a screenshot that I took on our blog. You can find that at techfordummies13.blog.com, and you can .blogspot.com. I'll leave that in the description to our Facebook page too. You can check us out on Facebook, Facebook.com/techfordummies. And you can find us on Facebook. So is there anything else you'd like to add before we close the first part of the episode?
I don't think too much about Apple now they're overpriced. But they don't have Apple. They don't have, like, how can I say this? Here. I know I said this before, but I have to say it again for this conclusion. Apple releases new products every year. It's like you're getting ripped off. Like, if you think about it, my iPod Touch. I got it last year, actually on this very exact same day. Just noticed that. And on November that year, they announced it so early, like around 2 months before. Probably 3 months.
Really?
The 5th gen iPod Touch. Not the 4th gen.
Oh.
And I got so pissed off.
Really?
I don't think you got iPod, but I don't get it. It's like they're ripping you off with their products. They wanted to buy it, and then it's like next year, oh, we got something new that you will finally buy.
And you gotta pay more money for it.
Exactly.
Back then, things used to be cheap. Now look at the thing.
Microsoft, if you think about it, their Windows products, they're taking 40, they last 4 years. Windows 7 was made, I believe, in 2009. It was released in 2009.
Yeah.
Look at that. 1 year, 2010. 2 years, 2011. 3 years, 2012. That's 3. No, that's pretty good. Pretty good. My Windows 7 I got 3 years ago, like around when Windows 7 came out. It lasted me a long time, so.
Right.
So my brother's using it. And that's not what Apple's doing. Apple's releasing new products. And, like, ripping you off. And that's just that part, that was Rant. We're gonna go on to part 2 right now.
Yes, and thank you, and here's part 2. And here's part 2 of our Dummies Rant today. So, I'm Tech for Dummies RB, as you just know in Tech for Dummies, Dummies Rant in part 1, and what we're here to do is we're going to talk about my subject now. So we just finished with TechforDummies AH, and he talked about Apple's products, Microsoft, and the iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch, and all that. And now, as I said in part one, I'm here to cover two things. I think I only said one of them. I'm here to cover storage unit, and also I'm here to cover Android pricing. So kind of similar to what TechforDummies AH said. So, right now I'm going to start off a storage unit. Right, which is the micro SD card for storage. Now, as you know, many Apple devices don't have storage devices, and they don't have micro SD card slots. But on Android devices, you can find a micro SD card slot anywhere. You can even find it on the side or back in the battery. You can find an SD card anywhere. So, you know, that's what you do if you have a micro SD card. Now, Apple has this thing called iCloud, right? So, iCloud is where you put all your personal stuff, your pictures.
Just to interrupt, but I also have to add something on Apple. They also have micro SD.
Right.
Because you can't remove the back.
Right, that's why you can't remove that. But here's what they can do on the iPhone 5S, just in case the iPod 6 Gen, what I'm hoping, is they can just throw in a micro SD card slot. Because, you know, you're charging people highway robbery. This is why I haven't bought an iPod Touch. Because, you know, Apple, you need to improve a little bit. So, you know, in the micro SD card is a big thing in people's lives. And if it's a big thing in people's lives, if you update it to iCloud, think about it. iCloud servers could crash, right? iCloud server could crash, and you won't have your files. Think about it. If you have a micro SD card, and it comes with the phone, they usually put in a 2 gigabyte, 4 gigabyte, 8 gigabyte, depending on the camera. And think about it. If you had a micro SD card, nothing will crash, and you will still have all your files stored on your phone. Everything. And the best thing is, you can even sync them up to your computer. On the iPhone, you can look at them on your computer and everything. But here's the problem with the iPhone. They do not have micro SD card slots. Whenever you plug something into your computer and you use your micro SD card slot, it's easier for photos and everything. But think about it. If you have an iPhone, it's going to be more complicated. Do you have anything to say, TechforDummies?
Yeah. I have something to say about the micro SD.
Yeah.
There's a specific one. There's so many brands that the iPhone. Because they don't. I'm just guessing right here. I guess they don't want me to steal their technology. I'm guessing because maybe I'm taking this over the Apple Samsung glasses.
Right.
They're thinking that they pick up the back and everything.
You know.
And that doesn't actually make sense. But
Alright.
I just thought I was going to do it, but here's what I was going to say. My person calls glasses. The more useful than iCloud. Because maybe iCloud I don't trust. I don't think it's safe. That's why I never use iCloud on my iPod. I prefer micro SD cards because micro SDs, as you said before, TechforDummies RBs, you can have it anywhere.
Right.
You could put it on your computer.
True.
You could get a computer, and that's about all, really. Even any device that has micro SD card slot, you can put it on that too. Doesn't have to be just on the phone.
Right.
I want iCloud because if you get a new product to Android, right?
Yeah.
You can't put everything over to Android.
True.
Because Android uses different software and everything.
Right. that's why this thing is all based on, it's called storage unit. Because where you gonna, it's like your stuff, right? And the micro SD card is more like real life. iCloud is more like virtual. So say, right, you want to store your card somewhere. Are you going to store it in a storing place, or like such as they got those places down at the U-Haul place? I think like one of those things that you put your stuff in. They have more storage hunters. Check out storage hunters, and you could use those. Or there is the other sophisticated way. You could just have someone hire to move it, and you could just put this in here, put this in there. Wouldn't you rather use the actual real life way? You got to think about it, because if you use the real life way, it's gonna make you better, because it's gonna make you better because it's gonna really impact your life. Because if you have photos, you have videos, you got graduation photos, videos, you got documents, you got everything on your phone. The Galaxy Nexus, and the Galaxy Nexus has a micro SD card slot. And there is one. Huh? Right, and that's Apple needs to improve on that. Apple, if you're watching this video, you really need to improve in this.
I'm also thinking, because I like to put it on flash drives, but some Android devices don't have a flash drive. Now, if you think about Apple's MacBook, they don't know that there are SD card slots, I believe. I believe they don't have any SD card slots. I've never used the newer MacBook models yet, but I do have one of the old ones.
Right.
Apple. And I don't see any micro SD card slot.
Right.
I mean, I tried out the Apple Card at Apple Store whenever I go there, and I don't see any micro SD card slot. So, I mean, I'll get Apple with their, maybe they hate SD cards? We'll never know.
You know why? Because they want to make more money off what they already do. Because right, they want to make more money. They're going to charge you $100 for another 16 gigabytes. I can get a 16 gigabyte card for almost $20 to $30. That is insane. That they will charge you extra $100 just for 16 gigabytes. I can get an 8 gigabyte, another 8 gigabyte, get 8 gigabyte, and another 8 gigabyte. Total come out to $40.
That's the upside about Apple, though. This is the upside. They don't have 3G on their devices. It's totally off topic, but they don't have 3G on their devices, and they can't call anything. That's the thing about Android devices and tablets. Right. Not just their phones, or it's on 3G or 4G LTE or 4G. But their tablets, that's the upside of Apple. They have 3G on their devices. It's all off topic. But Android tablets don't have 3G. I'm saying it's a little off topic, but that's just an upside. That's a positive for Apple.
Yeah, they do have that. But, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Amy. Back, now, I said storage unit, and what else did I want to talk about, TechforDummies?
Oh, yeah, the Galaxy, 3 and the Galaxy S4, and by the way, TechforDummies is RB, I gotta go.
Oh.
So, YouTube, right? You can have this TechforDummies RB.
Alright, we will see you later, TechforDummies AH.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So, TechforDummies AH had to leave us, but here's what we're going to do. We're also going to talk about the Galaxy Note 3 and the Galaxy S4. There's supposed to be resemblance. So I think that's a little weird because think about it. The Galaxy S3 and the Galaxy Note 3 and the Galaxy S4. So you got to think about that. You know, they're going to be almost identical. They said that the Galaxy Note 4 is supposed to be like almost his twin brother. They're all going to be improved specs. I don't think there's going to be an 8-megapixel camera, but if there is, I will edit this video and I will tell you guys down in the comments below, so be sure. And they're supposed to be very similar. Like the Samsung Galaxy S4 is supposed to be released with a 2 GHz processor. It's supposed to be released with a 13-megapixel Sony camera, a 2-megapixel front-facing camera, and Android 4.2 Jelly Bean with Project Butter and TouchWiz, I believe. So, and then Galaxy Note 3 is supposed to have some of those same specs, but it's just a bigger display. So you got to think about it. Do you want the Galaxy S4, Galaxy Note 3? The Galaxy Note 3 is going to be kind of a resemblance to Galaxy Note 2, but it's going to have some of the Galaxy S4 features, like a new camera, a new, it's going to definitely have Project Butter and Android 4.2 Jelly Bean, because I have checked and I have confirmed. So, okay, that's the end of the dummy rant. This is the end of part 2. Thank you for watching Tech for Dummies. Rate, like, subscribe, do everything that you can to your possible ability. I'll leave a Facebook link, a blog link, and a website link down there. Have a good day. Bye-bye.